OK, I will then. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, wow. Fellas, even by Rugby Tonight standards, that was a good party.
Shut up!
That. Oh, fellas, 2015. Big year for rugby. We have got to get ready. We've got a show. Not tonight, sweetheart. We have got a show. Come on, Ben, get your head out of the toilet. Guys, fellas, now. Come on, let's go.
They say these songs.
Well, like all good New Year's Eve parties, last week, someone woke up with carpet burns all over their knees and no memory at all of the beast that caused them. This week, though, we're hoping that our two demo teams do a bit better. We got the guys from Mersey Island. And we got the boys, our friends from BelsizePark.
Happy New Year to you all, and we want to start social media with a bang this year. So please send us your New Year's Eve photos, good or bad, at Rugby Tonight.
Sri Lancaster might not be able to make his mind up whether he needs a defensive or an attacking winger, but what he is going to need is plenty of bulk and plenty of power and plenty of beasts in their team.
Nice.
And we're going to see if we've got any beasts amongst us here. Gentlemen, if we wouldn't mind just sort of wandering over to... Thank you very much. Do we go at his pace or keep going?
I've got a lace. The lace isn't done.
Don't do that, boy.
That's definitely one for you, Ben.
As we go over, Oz, Ben, because you two are going to mentor the two teams for the rest of the season, there needs to be something at stake. There's got to be some kind of punishment. What do you reckon?
We're going to go head-to-head. Whoever scores the most points or whoever team does so through the season, the loser is going to have to come round to the other person's house, cook dinner for the other person and clean their car, or in my case, one of them.
In their pants. In their pants.
In their pants.
Yeah.
And film it, and we'll play it on the last Rugby Tonight of the season.
OK, no, that sounds fair enough. We've slightly
Sounds
updated...
weird, to be honest, Dawson. It just sounds weird.
It's Leicester.
Yeah, well, OK, sounds normal.
Pretty normal.
euphemism.
Pretty normal. We've slightly upgraded the way that people are being, well, not so much being scored, but how they're being represented, because we now have a leaderboard for our two teams to aspire towards. If we have a look over here, I've got no idea what the names are, because as Bates mentioned earlier, it looks like some kind of crazy roller coaster ride that they're on. But from right to left, Kingston University, Old Coventranians, Hammersmith and Fulham, Hertford, Beaconsfield, and far left, 490 is Tring Rugby Football Club. They are the ones to beat. So, which team is going to go first? Ben, are you going to get control?
Tonight. We've got a mentor tonight. Who have we got here?
Dave Morrell of Mersey Island Rugby Club.
What position does he play?
Hooker.
Hooker.
He's not going to let Louis down, he's not going to let himself down, he's not going to let the boys down.
And we need to make sure... or me.
He's not going to let you down.
Get on there. Don't push forward, OK? I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1, go, OK? 3, 2, 1, go!
Good work, Benny.
What do we think? How
does it feel?
He's done pretty well.
Did well. You happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
You happy with that? Oh, I'm not so sure. Let's have a look.
OK, here we go, here we go. Oh, dear.
182.
182. OK, the idea of this...
It's the hit. I think you need a bigger hit.
Yeah, the idea is to actually hit the machine, not just to go for a run on the treadmill. So if you wouldn't mind...
I think we've got a real contender from BelsizePark. He's so good. I'll talk to you about it later. He's so good. He's so much of a beast, he's not actually allowed to talk. He can't talk. He just gets on there. And I have to talk to his agent. He's got his agent and his manager here. What's your name?
My name's Ben, and with me I've got Kully. And when he hits, it's so hard, there isn't one hit, there's 3. There's him hitting you hitting the floor, and the ambulance hitting 90 on the way to the hospital. Come on, Kully!
OK, well, you'll be in Covent Garden for the rest of the week if you want to see him entertaining you. Off we go. Come on, the beast! Come on! Kully.
The machine wasn't on for Mark.
That was just work. It just went for a walk there.
Oosh. Oosh, this is good.
That's it. Does he feel all right? Everyone feel OK over there? Let's have a look at the score up here. Let's have a look at the score.
And that's all that matters.
Will you be trying to get him a contract now at a Premiership Rugby
I
club?
don't have to try after that. They'll be coming to me.
OK.
Scotty, you hand over the shirt. Benny,
The machine wasn't on.
get your turtle wax out. That's what you're going to need. Right, you give them their bottle of champagne. Right. We will take a breather now. Join us in a few minutes' time for the rest of the action from round 12 of the Viva Premiership. But Ben will be back with his greatest hits. Hopefully, they're better than that.
We've got a first here, Dawes, because Ben's actually going to get stuck into forwards for being stupid, aren't you, Ben? Particularly close to the try line.
But it's not necessarily just their fault,
Yeah.
whether they're getting the information. What I was talking about before is Leicester, this period when they got close to the line. But for me, a lot of teams, when they get 5 metres out, they're less of a threat than when they're 20 out. They just become one-dimensional. The forwards come in and do a lot of pick and go. Scott, we were talking, you backs have a word for it at Leicester.
Pick and slow, mate, we
Pick
call
and
it.
slow. It's slow. By this stage, for the defensive team, for me, it becomes quite easy. They're not going to do anything but go one-out runners, and you just fly in, 3-men tackles, make your big hits, slow the ball down again, and they never really get anywhere. And by the time it does get to any of the backs, it tends just to get shipped along the line because you think there might be an overlap and they take a lot of your space. So I was just going to look at maybe different ways of defending.
Okay,
but you've
let's
got a
take
point
us a
about
few.
how much pressure's on the scrum half, haven't
Well, it's
you?
very difficult. We've got our young scrum half who we've helped with his passing today. But when you're in here as a 9 and you're this close to the line, as we saw it on the VT there, there's guys all over the place. These big guys, they're kicking you. There's feet everywhere. You feel like they're right on top of you. So you have to have a good wide base. And from that, it's very difficult to run. It's very difficult to break out the corner. And if you do, you know you're going to get smashed. So they feel like they're on top of you. So there's so much pressure here that it's difficult to get a very, very accurate wide pass.
But there's also, I mean, there's pressure from the defensive line for any runners as well.
Yeah.
But that's actually because they're so desperate, because they know if they get a half tackle, you can just reach over and score the try. I think teams should use it to their advantage. When I was playing, we hardly ever did any practice in this area. It was always 20 metres out we'd start with our training sessions. So what we've seen there is teams picking and going around the corner, and they're meeting 3 players that are just getting knocked back. It's slow ball, and then they go again. So a lot of teams, we also see them come off with a one-off runner off the side. Maybe they've got people there to lift, but they're taking the ball standing still so that as the ball comes to the player, they all know who's going to get it. 3 players in on them, they make the hit, they're off the line because they're desperate and we don't get any momentum. What I'd like to see is a bit back to the old days of these guys becoming a huge running threat. So they're going to actually set off before the scrum half picks up the ball and give them a target. 1 man slightly further in front so the ball can go across. Now any 3 of these guys can get the ball. And if we run at full tilt, look what happens to the defenders. It's a one-on-one collision, which is exactly what we want. A one-on-one collision, because if you're one-on-one, you think you might get there. If you run into where all the meat of it is, you're worried that you might get hit. But Austin, what that means, if you then play with balance and don't use them every time, it creates opportunities elsewhere.
Absolutely, but a great coach called Brian Ashton once told me that this is a wall. You come any side here, it's a brick wall. There's 4 defenders. So why run at a brick wall unless you're a bit stupid? So I sort of think, Scotty, and I'm sure you're the same, you will have come out from the wing on a few occasions. You will have seen them doing the pick and slow. What do you really want from these guys? How can they help you score a try?
Well, firstly, running just like that, and 2, so if we do go out the back of them, they're already committing these guys. Quite often you see guys that know that the ball's going out the back. They don't quite run with the conviction that they ran there. Holding these guys out the back and a nice crisp pass to the 10. And we're going to, try and create numbers. Obviously, we're only calling it when it's on. There's no point calling it unless it's on. Often, that's the main thing, is communicating, eyes up, identifying the numbers.
Let's have a look at that very, very quickly to finish. So we're going to get the forwards who run through. You're going to hit
Same
Scotty.
again, these guys run through. What happens to defenders as these footboys run through?
They keep running. You wait till they go. They all get stopped. You get to the outside corner. And the fast, talented guys on the outside with brains score a try.
I think the teams that are doing this really well in this red zone, this 5-metre channel, a lot of teams are doing it well further out. In the 5-metre channel, it's the likes of the Northamptons that are actually causing defenders problems. They're having to make decisions, which means they're having to think, do I mark this guy, and you're getting more one-on-one tackles that are being missed. The likes of Luther Burrell scoring down the middle, forwards in tight, or the wings round the corner.
So there you go, babes. When forwards think, they can achieve a lot. Give it a go.
I might wait on that one. Fantastic demo. Now, we know the demos are always brilliant, absolutely outstanding, but just reiterate what Dul said. That young lad there from Mersey Island got a passing clinic from 2 British Lions. He's going to remember that forever. Not that important on the wider scale, but I just think it...
We've spoken a lot about it. We've built it up. Did you just drink out of that?
No.
Did you drink out of the false leg?
Just poured it.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, audience, you've been absolutely outstanding. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Yeah, well
they have been brilliant. Well done indeed. Remember, if you want to be part of the audience, just get in contact with us. audience@rugbytonight.com. It's a lot of fun here.
Yeah, good stuff. Well done for drinking that base. Thanks very much, Scotty, for joining us tonight. Hope the injury gets better really soon. We will see you same time, same place next week. Look forward to it. Take care now.